The Flash 796, Jeremy Adams and Roger Cruz, Fernando Pasarin and George Cambadeas, all on art. So, final issue of the 1 Minute War, and unfortunately, I think this is probably the weakest issue of the arc in some ways. I think it's just a little bit too messy with too many characters, and there's a few times where, like, you know, everyone's fighting, and at one point, like, I think Wally traps the Prince dude in like the container and quickly explains, "Oh, I understand. This will keep you outside of time, so you'll be stuck in here." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'll take your word for it, Wally. But he said it as if it was like set up before, and I'm like, that's like the details of how all this stuff works have all been gobbledygook from the start. So I'm not.
Yeah. It's a lot of timey-wimey or a lot of Speed Force, bro. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but for me, the setup is that when it's revealed that the Admiral is an organic, right, and he's not using the artificial Lincoln, that's what made Wally understand that he's outside of time like all the other Flashes. Therefore, when they, you know, that makes him a living paradox when this all happens. But still, timey-wimey, don't think about it too much. You'll give yourself a nosebleed. Might have happened to me. But I do like that resolution of it, you know, that basically they stop it before it happens because of Flash time travel. And also how Adams kind of redeems the characters that Wally, you know, killed from the book that we don't like to talk about.
Well, he didn't really kill them. They already revealed that back in the first arc.
No, I know that, but like he gets his piece with them, right? They're in Time Point to help, you know, with Gold Beetle. So another character I love her just as a concept. So
yeah, there's a fun couple of little moments here where she's at the end. She's like, you know, she's invited in. She's like, "Is Jay in there?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I can't meet him yet then, because the first time you meet Special, I can't ruin that. So I'm gonna."
Yeah, that made me be like, "Oh, that's so cute." Like, you know. So, which again, Adams has been great with the family dynamics thing. Like even her, because we do see that those two, you know, in the future are together. So, you know, that stuff's there. But yeah, I really like the Time Point stuff, you know, where they talk about, and it became Planet Flash because of, you know, Wally's impact on things, you know, and but it was the vanishing point type, you know, nexus of realities or time, and that's basically what they're going to use. Wally is now the secret weapon that they're going to need to defeat them. So I like that.
Yeah. I think it's a bit weird though that he shows up in the fight with all these characters, and they set up all these other characters because they're not speedsters. The tech they've got or whatever gives them 1 minute. They've got 1 minute before they all freeze like everyone else, so they help where they can. I do think it's weird that there's not like kind of like a great big moment where like everyone sees Wally's alive again. It kind of happens, I don't know, sort of gradually, and I know after everything's done, like Irie runs up and says, "Oh, you know," hugs her dad, and Linda's happy to see him again. But I felt it was missing kind of the big, like, "Oh shit, Wally's back" moment. Like for them, you know, for all the other characters who thought he was gone and not coming back. You know, I felt like it was missing in that moment. So I do think this final issue of the arc is probably the weakest part of it. I have enjoyed the arc overall though quite a bit, because it's a really fun concept, and all the character dynamics, like you said, have been entertaining, and they've been kind of heartfelt in places, which is really nice. But this one did suffer a little bit from, you know, just a lot of like last minute exposition just to explain things. Even the villain sort of talking to his like subordinates who try to like turn against him when they find out he's an organic. Which
I don't understand, because wouldn't they? He fought through being like an organic, like he's, you know, he started from the bottom. He was what they used to, you know, imprison, and now he's in charge. You just sort of think they sort of respected his rank, but all of a sudden they get, you know, prejudice, and that's it. So, you know, maybe an extra issue would have helped to decompress a little of it.
Yeah, it's just a little bit rushed here in this final issue, and there's a lot going on, which is a little bit of a shame. But you get the sort of time rewinding at the end, and then Barry running off to Iris to say yes, and everyone else sort of, you know, being good. So it's, you know, the ending is quite nice. You get a full page spread of the entire family having a barbecue. You know, then there's a little epilogue page with Max Mercury and Bart, and interesting little theory that comes up in this, actually, which admittedly, it felt like a little bit of just a, we're going to try and make this story feel more important, so we're going to suggest something here, which feels a little forced, but this idea that the reason why Max ended back up in this time period, and the reason why Bart ended up in this same time period, so they've all kind of collected in this time period, is that, because we're all meant to be here to stop this, to stop the fraction from doing this to Earth. You know, fate's kind of put us all, or the Speed Force, I should say, is all kind of put us here in the same place, in the same time. That felt a little bit, I don't know, disingenuous to me, because I'm like, okay, you're saying that now because you're writing this arc now, but that's not really true. Like, you know, so I rolled my eyes a little bit at that, but there's this sort of scene at the end where Max and Bart run off into the sunset to sort of maybe go somewhere else. So I don't know if there's plans to pick up with them somewhere else.
I don't know, but I will say that I do like that Adams is giving us probably something he enjoyed back. You know, we all know he's a big Flash fan. So teaming up Bart and Max again, and like they don't know what the future holds. It's unwritten, and they get to go off now. I do like that. I feel like he got to give them the ending he's always wanted, you know, to see for them. So, you know, but just that image of Max staring off into the sunset, and you're just like, oh man, yeah. I think the other little thing is that a bit messy with the fighting in the middle is, you know, at one point it starts like, it's not quite her narration, but it's like a Miss Murder. Like, she starts talking to people, and it's like a different type of box versus the other dialogue and narration boxes. I felt like there was just a little bit too much squeezed out of some of those pages. Again, some of it could have been decompressed and fleshed out a bit, and you know, maybe another issue would have been the thing it needed for that. But also, we never got any payoff to Godspeed. I figured we'd seen Godspeed.
Yeah, that bugged me as well. I was like, I thought he was going to show up and do something.
Me too. I thought he was going to be the one that puts the end to the Admiral, because he has zero issue with killing people.
Yeah, I thought he was going to show up and do something that the good guys wouldn't do, but because, you know, enemy of my enemy, it would inadvertently help everyone else, you know. Because obviously the idea of what are the evil speedsters doing in the world whilst this is going on is an interesting idea, and it was cool to bring it up in that short story in the special, but I really thought it was setting up that he was going to show up and do something. So that was a bit disappointing. I will say that.
What other evil speedster do we have out there right now?
Who's keeping track of whether or not Zoom or Thawne or
right? Because Thawne's locked away wherever, right? Because of Infinite Crisis things. And then who knows? I know someone's handling Zoom because there was a tease in one of the solicits.
Is it? What about Mina? Has she still got powers? She's still zipping around?
Yeah. What was she? Black Sun, black hole, something like that. But she wasn't really evil. She was kind of, you know, neutral. Bart's clone isn't around anymore. Forget even his Inertia, I think his name was.
Yeah, we didn't have to have like tons of them though. I think
no. But I'm just thinking like, what other? It'd just be Godspeed, really, that I can think of.
Godspeed been used to represent the ideas fine enough. Like, you have to do it with one, but it was it's just a shame that they never actually did anything else with them.
Anything else, So, but that Family Barbecue page I like too, because there's a lot going on here. You know, like Iris is showing Jesse Quick her ring. You know, and just everyone's kind of around. It feels like a very nice, you know, moment here. So, I'm just also trying to figure out who everyone is. Is that who's with the backwards hat?
Oh, I'm not looking at it. I don't know.
Oh, gotcha. Is that supposed to be Bart? I think it is.
Yeah,
it kind of looks like Roy.
We also have the thing with the speedster they found inside the thing, who says his name's Wade, and there's a guy, Wally's got an uncle named Wade. Who have you been named after?
That's right. So just a whole lot of fun stuff. So you know, curious to see where he takes it now that we know that his run's ending. You know, see what these last couple issues are before it switches creatives.
Yeah, I hope it's just family stuff and, like, you know, sort of epilogue to the run type stuff, because obviously there's not enough time to do like a proper big story now. Honestly, it's a shame that it's such a messy, overstuffed final issue of the arc, because I was hoping this arc from the early stuff was going to be this like really prominent Flash story that stands out. And I think now it's ended. I'm not sure if it is my favorite story that he's done in the run. I think it maybe just falters a little bit too much at the end to take that crown. I still like the story overall, but I will say this final issue is a bit weaker than the rest of them.
For sure. Yeah, like you said, a little bit too convenient in places. You know, could have used an extra, just a little bit decompression, and I think it would have. So, but I mean, great concept for an event for Flash.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we said that right from the start. I think one of the big problems with this final issue, though, there's so many groups fighting that it's just hard to get a grasp on what each group is trying to achieve at any given point. What the rules for success are. You know, like, everything's very kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Not whimsical. Wobbly? Not wobbly. Everything's wishy-washy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Everything's a bit wishy-washy as far as like what's going on. So so I'm probably gonna rate this one down a little bit, but it's, you know, I'm still enjoying the run, and obviously I hope these last couple issues we get from it are nice send-offs. What are you giving? Oh, actually, that's the other problem. Before we get to the rating, 3 artists did stick out. Yeah, it was very back. That just added to the haphazardness of it, to be honest. Yeah, and none of the art styles really match or complement each other really well. So I gave it a kind of a messy kind of vibe for this, you know, end of a story. So kind of don't want to see that. I just felt like a hodgepodge, you know, because it wasn't too bad when it went from, like, you know, Flash Planet to like the regular fight, because okay, that was a different planet, or there was a, you know, whatever, but then it kind of changed again towards the end, and it was kind of I don't know, it wasn't working for me too much. Okay. All right, what are you rating the Flash 796? I'm gonna give this a 7.5. Yeah, I'm actually gonna go down to a 6 on this one. I do think it was a bit too messy to really rate much higher, unfortunately. Gotcha.